Nathan Williams. You're not just a personal trainer, you are a world champion bodybuilder. Tell me a little bit about yourself and why you got into what you're into.
Wow, what an intro. My whole fitness journey pretty much started from me wanting to more look the part. I've always been a very small, young-looking kid as such. When I qualified, so I thought I needed to pack on a little bit of muscle just to be taken seriously in the industry.
And I guess it's echoed in a lot of people that maybe because of a lack of confidence when they were younger, they wanted to pack on that size and muscle. And now to the extreme you're doing, obviously you're going on shows, showing your physique to people, which requires a lot of confidence. And you do that really well. And you're a champion, you know, multiple time champion as well. So what is the mindset behind going from someone who, like yourself, you confess that you're not confident, to then showing the world your body?
To be honest with you, I only did it because my friends at the time who I met in the industry, they kind of roped me into doing it. They were like, Nathan, you'll do really well. I'm like, nah, man, this ain't for me. Like a lot of persuading it took from them. And then I don't know if you followed Bodybuilder at all, you've seen the little pants that they wear.
Yeah, the little budgie smugglers.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I've actually got some on now. I'm joking. I ordered them and they came through the post. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be wearing these. So I said to my friends, no, I'm not doing this. I'm out. But long story short, I eventually built up the courage to put them on. Yeah, managed to get on stage.
So obviously getting yourself to the point where you're ready to do it is one thing, but then actually competing at a high level, you know, that's going to demand a high level of regimen, routine, and a lot of restriction in your life with what you can eat, what you can drink, what supplements you take. Your whole life has to be micro-planned, right? What's like a day in your life when you're in the run-up to a competition?
You have to be very, very organized in terms of your food and planning it accordingly, because the leaner you get, the less your energy levels become. And so you need to just make sure that you're prepared, your training sessions are fueled adequately, and you're able to just go from waking up to going to bed without just flaking completely.
Yeah. In terms of packing on size, for someone who is, I don't know, they're an office worker, they're, you know, a busy mom of 3 kids, or even like a teenager getting into bodybuilding, what are some foundations that someone would have to do? Absolute foundational, and then we'll go on to the intermediate advanced levels of building muscle. But at the very beginning of someone's muscle building journey, what would they need to do?
It's a very, very simple procedure. You got to lift weights, learn correct technique, and do it consistently. That is pretty much it. I think that's number one. I think number 2 is finding a routine that fits your lifestyle. I think a lot of people, they can't follow what I do. I train 5 times a week. I always pretty much train at the same time every single time that I do train, which is during the middle of the day. So I'm able to squeeze and say 2 or 3 meals in beforehand, and then I can have 2 or 3 meals after that. Not a lot of people can follow that routine, but that fits my lifestyle. But if you are someone who has a busy job, you work 9 to 5, you've got 3 kids, you've got a wife, you might not be able to go to the gym 5 times a week and train at lunchtime. Your routine may be waking up and getting your workout done at first thing in the morning, say 6 o'clock, and then only being able to go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week. Okay, so that's what you need to do. And then once you've found your routine, you stick at it.
Yeah, and I think most people are obsessed with perfection rather than just progress. So if they can't do 60 minutes, they think, I'll just leave it. But 10 minutes is better than nothing.
100%. I would still always recommend doing a little bit more
doing
than 10
more,
minutes.
Yeah.
Especially to build muscle. But something is always better than doing nothing. And you have to just set realistic expectations of what you can consistently do. I always have said weight training is the best form of exercise that you can do. I will say that confidently and proudly.
So obviously training is one part of the game. And for me, I found over the years myself as well, whenever I'm training, and a lot of people at home listening to this might find a similar, a mindset where they think that training is for fat loss, but actually the fat loss happens in your diet, but the training is just to build your stamina, strength, endurance, and just change your body composition.
100%. So weight training is to get stronger and build muscle.
Yeah.
That is it. You don't go into the gym to lift weights to lose fat.
Yeah.
It will happen. And in fact, the more muscle your body has on it, the more it's able to metabolize food. You can
higher metabolism.
Exactly.
Right?
You can get more calories in you. And it does make the whole fat loss process much easier the more muscle you have on your body.
So when someone is trying to like build muscle, they have to be in some sort of caloric surplus. The body needs more energy so it can synthesize more muscle rather than the amount of muscle being broken down. But I see a lot of younger people and even people, you know, who are not in their teens, when they're in that muscle building phase, they eat like they're at a buffet every day. They think they need to get so much. But that's not the case. Your body just needs a little bit more than what you're probably getting right now, right?
Exactly. I've done it. I've been that guy to pile on 2.5 stone, make close to 3 stone to bring it back down. You don't need to do that.
Yeah.
What happens is it becomes harder and just a longer process of getting rid of all that body fat you put on. Okay, so my thing now, especially right now, you only need to be in a slight surplus. Anything between, say, 250 to 500 calories, maybe over the calories that you'll consume to maintain your weight.
One of the most important building blocks for muscle building is protein.
100%.
The amino acids that your body derives from the protein sources that you're consuming go to muscle protein synthesis. So in terms of protein, people think there are a lot of myths around there, which we'll come on to. But in terms of consuming protein, for someone who is starting a journey, who is not like a regular gym goer, how do they calculate how much protein they need for their body weight or for their lives?
A simple way to do it is just 1 gram of protein per pound of your body weight. Sometimes your lean body weight, so whatever you would weigh without any body fat.
So someone who is an office worker, weighs 70 kilos, doesn't do any exercise, wants to start exercising and weight
training. If it's weight and then 1 gram of protein, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That's a simple equation to kind of stick to. That's it.
So when you're building muscle and trying to pack on more size, what do your rest days look like, and why is that important for you?
I don't like my whole life to be around the gym. I always give myself 2 days completely off.
2 days.
2 days off the weights. And I think maybe later on in life, once I get a few more responsibilities, maybe it'll reduce again. So I always have a Wednesday and a Sunday off completely of the gym.
But you still exercise on those days?
I would walk. I'll be out, still get my steps in. Always have my step tracker on me. So I always just go out. I've got 2 dogs. So that's my exercise. I get chores done.
So it's important as well for recovery to have those rest days. Obviously, the muscle building is actually you in the gym breaking down your muscle fibers, and the rest days are for the muscle fibers to start repairing, right?
Exactly.
I see a lot of people, especially when you started out, even when I first was on like my gym journey when I was 18 years old, I would be obsessed with I have to train every single day, 7 days a week. And actually for a while, I found myself being even sorer and less gains being made because you're overtraining. And that's catabolic to your body, and your body's going to be in a breakdown state.
And you can't maintain that. And I think you find you probably start resenting going to the gym if you know that you have to go every single day. And I think that's where people start lacking the motivation to go.
So because you've been obviously lifting weights for so many years now, you must have got some injuries over the years.
Listen, especially if you're trying to push yourself to the absolute limit, you're going to get niggles, you're going to get some sort of pain. It doesn't mean that I stopped training. I still train. It doesn't take me away from the gym. Listen, there's always a way to get from A to B, and because I'm very in tune with what I can do and with my body, and I always find a way around it.
When I see a patient in hospital, for example, if I perform surgery on a patient in hospital, they are stuck in hospital for a number of days or weeks, and just being in bed and not moving around as normal, they are going into muscle atrophy. They're losing muscle, right? So when they come out, they have lost a lot of weight, but a lot of that weight is lean muscle, which is bad. But then they need to start now training again and building up their muscle. How does someone post-surgery recovery or any post-illness limit the amount of muscle loss, and what would you guide them on?
Always take control of the things that you can control. This is apparent as well. If you have apparently broken like one side of your body, I don't know if this is actually true, but if you were to still train the other side, it helps kind of stimulate the recovery on the other side. Is that actually true?
I think to some extent,
Okay, then so things like that, if it's you've broken an arm, you can still walk, your legs still work. There's always a way around, as I said, getting from A to B, okay? You might not be able to do the training regime that you were doing before, but you can still move. Okay, you want to do things to make you feel good, and exercise will always do that.
Do you believe in constantly trying to like shock your muscles or varying your workouts?
No.
Is that even a thing?
No, for me, if you were to go through my Instagram page right now, you'll pretty much see the same workout. I'm good with that. I'm good to do that.
Consistency.
And I can just be consistent as possible because I know there's always a slight way to make just a little bit of progress, you know? And I always know that I can make a certain lift just that little bit better, marginal gains. But there's a lot of people who feel like they need to change their workouts all the time. I will do it with a client. I'll change their program every, say, 2 months or 3 months, just to give themselves something to look forward to. But I don't need to do that for myself. You know, it all depends on the individual. And I feel like to get better at your craft, you need to just practice the same things over and over and over again.
Are you taking any extra supplements to aid your muscle growth?
Yes, I take protein powder.
Yeah.
Creatine monohydrate.
Tell me about what the creatine monohydrate. Why do you take it? I mean, that is, for me, that seems like, based on the research available, that's the lowest hanging fruit for anyone.
Yeah.
Whether you're a man, woman, kid, anyone who is, even if you're not training, creatine seems to be something that you should probably be taking.
Yeah.
Why do you take it?
Apparently, it's the best supplement you can take. It's as close to taking probably steroids naturally as you can. Yeah. So what it does, it helps just give you a little bit more energy so you can go on for longer, and you'll get just that little bit more out of your workout.
So it's not directly giving you muscle building, but it's powering your workout and giving you more energy so you can train more intensely and for longer, and you recover quicker.
Exactly.
Which then leads to more gains.
Exactly.
So you take creatine monohydrate as opposed to any other variations of creatine. You think that's the best?
Apparently it does exactly the same thing. It's affordable and you can get a whole load of it, and it lasts for one serving of it. One order of it will last me like 6 months.
How much do you take on a daily basis?
5 grams, just literally 1 scoop. Apparently it's best to probably take it after a workout. I just take it whenever.
Once a day.
Yeah, because I've got my routine with my days, and I'll just take it before a workout.
In terms of things which are a no-no, what about alcohol? Do you consume any alcohol?
Don't do anything to an excess. I would only drink if I'm maybe celebrating a very close friend's event, whether it's a wedding, and that's very rarely. And I've only got a handful of friends as well. I don't binge drink. I'll probably have like 1 or 2 max, and that's pretty much it.
Because that's going to directly affect muscle gain and just general body composition, isn't it?
That and just routine as well. I want to be able to wake up the next day and just get on. Always got things to do. I ain't got time to be sitting in bed recovering. I ain't got time for that.
So the alcohol directly affects your body composition, your gains while you're drinking it, but then also the negative effects continue afterwards as you're recovering. It's going to affect your sleep, which we know is crucial for maintaining muscle mass and building muscle mass. It's going to affect your energy levels, your mood, your appetite, and all of these things, which will throw your routine off kilter, right?
Everything you just said. Late night will lead to you going to the kebab shop at night and getting in an extra 2,000 calories on top of what you're currently doing. Then the next day you're in bed recovering from all the alcohol you just drank, and then before you know it, you've just undone a lot of gains. Okay?
How's your sleep? Because we've mentioned a little bit about supplements and routine and consistency, but there's a whole branch of other things which are important for muscle maintenance and growth, including sleep. So how is that for you?
Sleep's all right. I probably can sleep, I'd say, another hour. But the way life is right now, I can't. Plus Love Island is on at night. So so I'll probably get to bed about, say, 10, just after 10, and then wake up about 5:30. So it's a good 7.5 hours.
That's decent,
I do feel like I can probably get another half an hour. And
do you feel refreshed when you wake up in the morning?
Not really.
No?
Not really. It takes me not a long time, about half an hour of just like... Getting myself ready. So I need to try and improve that.
Do you drink caffeine in the mornings to try and wake up? Are you requiring caffeine?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I need to. That's my I need coffee in the morning.
Obviously coffee can help to spur your workout as well. Do you take any of these pre-workout stimulants?
I take a mild pre-workout beforehand.
What do you take?
It's just a brand that got sent to me by some friends.
Beta-alanine?
I think it's got beta-alanine in it. It's just a branded pre-workout, and It's got those ingredients in
And
beta
again,
alanine, caffeine.
similar to not quite on a creatine level, but it just gives you that motivation and energy to just, stimulate you to power you through the workout.
Yeah, sometimes like a placebo, if you know you're taking that, then it's like, right, I need to go and train now.
And you mentioned obviously protein powder is something that you take. In terms of your protein consumption, I mean, you eat meat and vegetables, obviously, but do you find there's any difference between consuming animal protein versus plant protein? Can you see any difference in someone or any colleagues of yours who are maybe vegan bodybuilders in the gains that they can make in consuming animal versus plant protein?
Yeah, I think that it needs to have, I think it's called leucine.
Yeah, which you get in the meats.
Exactly. So I think the higher the leucine that is in your protein, the better it is for muscle building.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're not going to get that in a lot of vegan, plant-based products.
So you can still be a plant-based bodybuilder, but maybe just need to be cognizant that you may need to supplement certain things to completely optimize your muscle growth and things like that. Even protein powder and protein, drinks, anything like that, that's not essential, but it's just a quick, convenient way to just get more protein, right?
So, look, I'm always on the go, and I haven't got the time, and a lot of people don't have the time to be sitting down at a table out their Tupperware eating their chicken and their rice and their broccoli. And some people just need something quick you can consume in 30 seconds, hence why I would probably consume a protein shake after a workout, because it literally takes me 20 seconds to blend up, and that's me done.
Obviously, you train a wide variety of people, and in your other job where you're a bodybuilder as well, and you're competing in these shows, you come across men and women. Have you seen any differences in training regimes that are helpful for specific for men or for women, or does it not matter?
It depends on the goal. Like there's loads of different categories in a bodybuilding show. You'll get the bodybuilders who just want to try and pack on as much muscle as possible. Then you'll get like a few bikini girls who their goal is to like try and look as slender and shapely as possible.
Yeah.
So their regime may be training like legs 3 times a week.
I see.
And a guy will probably just train them like maybe once or max twice. Okay, so the regimes can change all depending on the actual goal and the look that you want to have.
And clearly, obviously, physiologically between men and women, men have a higher testosterone amount, which is obviously an anabolic steroid, natural steroid. So women will find it harder to make the same gains as men for a physiological reason, right?
Yeah, exactly.
When you're training, is there anything extra that you would do for, your female clients, instead of your male clients?
No.
Same. You'd give them same workouts, same diet plans?
The workout's just relevant to the individual. The diet, the calories is going to be slightly less just because of their weight and the amount of muscle that they've got on their body. Everything's always tailored to that individual.
So I was watching this thing recently on Netflix. You saw the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary, the 3-part, which I loved. And that
what a man.
What an incredible way. I didn't know the full story about how he came from, this Austrian farm boy basically to, top of the world. And that first part of the documentary where, he suddenly starts just, like you were saying earlier on the episode, starting lifting weights, doing the same thing every day. And he ends up, topping these competitions. The bodybuilding competitions that we saw Arnold Schwarzenegger go through, is that the same as what you're experiencing in your shows, or is it different? And what are they judging you on?
It's a pretty funny sport when you, if you don't really know too much about it. You see a bunch of oily, muscly men in pants standing on the stage staring at each other.
Hairless.
Yeah, exactly, just bald. So first of all, you got symmetry rounds, so how symmetrical your body is and balanced. And then a muscularity round. So you got 3 rounds: symmetry, and then muscular, how much muscle you got on your body.
Yeah.
And then the third one, you just do like a posing routine.
Okay.
So whatever song that you want. This is like
What's your song?
a little bit of Love a Spice Girl.
Oh.
Yeah, Love a Spice Girl.
So
we all got, you can just choose whatever you want.
I mean, symmetry, definition, and muscle size.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can do a lot to change those things, but then you're also limited by your anatomy and genetics to some degree,
yeah.
right? So, I mean, anatomically and genetically, you may be far more blessed than someone else. To what extent can you maximize all of that?
Like me, naturally, I've got a very X-shaped body, but I've had to build muscle on top of it to make it look presentable on stage. So before I trained, there's no way I could have stepped on stage how I look without any muscle. It just looked weird. And it's about presenting your physique as best as you can on stage as well. So you maybe hide weak points and show strong points.
Okay,
And
so you can kind of like manipulate that a little bit.
Maybe very slightly.
And you said obviously these bodybuilders, they have to be like oiled up, and that's presumably so they look, it defines and it highlights certain little muscle grooves and things more.
Exactly.
And also need to be bald. Is that head to toe need to be like shaved everywhere?
Well, you might as well get rid of it all as you're doing it. You don't want to leave a little patch. Just get rid of it all. Just
wow, everything, everywhere.
Streamline, aerodynamic,
oh my God.
Straight in, yeah.
Yeah. What's the, obviously this is such an extreme sport, to some degree, because you have to be, ultra low body fat. You have to be so regimental in your training to get the muscle definition and the obliques and serratus anterior, also known as the boxer's muscle, just underneath on the, sides of your rib cage that you see those lines. What's the kind of downside psychologically of being in that kind of state or around that world where everything is so restrictive and you have to look a certain way? That's obviously amazing for building muscle and confidence, but also the dark side, it can lead you to dangerous eating habits and relationships with your body and food.
Yeah, so it's not sustainable.
No.
You cannot maintain, well, you can, but it's very, very hard to maintain single-digit body fat levels over a long period of time. The whole fat loss process is exactly the same. It's just literally eating less than what you burn, but the lower your body fat percentage comes is where you start need to be a little bit more smarter with your choices and eating certain things to make you feel maybe a little bit fuller, just to kind of keep you going for longer. So there's no, you don't want to eat a donut being 4% body fat.
Yeah.
Because that's literally...
It's not satiating.
No, not at all. That's literally probably a quarter of your daily calories.
Yeah.
You're going to flake by midday.
Wait, say that again. So a donut would be a quarter of your daily calories at that stage, the low end.
Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, probably.
Just before a competition, like 10 seconds before going out on stage, what would your body fat percentage be? 4 or 5%?
Maybe. I've never actually measured my body fat percentage, but you just know. I've been there for so long, you just know when you're ready.
And what would be your calorie intake on that day, for example, or the days leading up to it?
It's not really days, it's more the whole process, because you do a thing called peak week where you manipulate your carbohydrates.
Okay.
So
less water weight carried.
I'll do a carb deplete and then a carb load.
Okay.
And then just and then a water deplete as well. After that, the load's done.
So you're dehydrating yourself to some degree before the competition.
Exactly, yeah.
So you're as shredded and the structures are as visible as possible.
Exactly.
And
so you can't maintain that.
In your mind, what is actually happening to you on the day of the show? How's your libido? How's your mood? Your appetite?
Yeah, wet noodle.
Yeah, you're just
got a wet noodle, mate.
So you're shrunk. You're shrunk everywhere.
It hasn't shrunk. It hasn't shrunk. It hasn't shrunk.
No,
still good. I'm joking.
Because a lot of elite level kind of show competitors. Obviously, even though they look huge, their testosterone actually plummets somewhat because you're in that hypo, low-calorie state.
I think so, yeah. I think a lot of people do it to such an extreme. I'm good. Don't get me wrong, I'm good. But I think when people do it to an extreme for so long, for me, everything's tapered down very gradually. I'll do a slow diet. So my diet isn't 3 months, what a lot of people do, where it's just so extreme. You can't keep that up. My diet will be from 8-9 months of very, very slow dieting. So last year, for example, when I competed, my diet started in March and my last show was in November.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's incredible. Is there anything else in your armory that you do, which is just a life hack for muscle building? Any other supplements that you take or anything you do?
Nothing at all, man. I've been accused of doing whatever before, but nothing, man.
Why do people accuse you of taking steroids, presumably?
I think number one, achieving a certain goal, looking a certain way. I was accused of doing it from 6 months of training.
Really?
I was 18 years old and being a kid, I'm like, what is this?
So genetically you are gifted and you worked hard as well. So you had a good frame and good body and you were accused because you looked too good, basically.
Maybe, or it was the results that I saw, but in a short amount of time. But I've always known what hard work is. And I think at that stage of my life when I was 18, I had nothing to lose. And I literally had to work as hard as I physically could because I wanted to succeed. And then I wanted to be a good PT. I wanted to be taken seriously in the industry. I wanted to look the part, I really wanted to do this.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have a good job. And I had, as I said, I had nothing to lose, man. I just wanted to give it all I could.
That's amazing. I mean, you've certainly given a fresh perspective on muscle growth and an insight into that kind of slightly crazy world that you're into. Nathan, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Just before I let you go, you do have a question for me. I don't know what it is.
Right, so question for you. What's your current relationship like with the gym, and how's that going for you?
I recently posted something on my socials, like on my Facebook, just almost giving accountability for myself to go to the gym more. So I first started, really going to the gym hard in my first year of uni. So 18, I was living across the road from the gym in my halls. So I was, bunking lectures and going to the gym every day with my mates. And it was fun. You still like those newbie gains, you start gaining muscle quickly, you start increasing your strength quickly, and I enjoyed that. And one of the key things for me was building upper body strength so I could bowl faster in cricket.
Okay.
I love playing cricket, and I wanted to bowl faster and faster. So I needed that upper body shoulder strength to throw things the ball faster, basically. So that was one of the main things. I wanted more of that functional strength.
Yeah.
But obviously during uni, that 18 to 24 year phase when I was at uni, you're still very young, and you care a lot about what other people think, girls, stuff like that. So I obviously was also concerned about the aesthetic side of things. But I very quickly realized as well that this has only happened in the later years, where actually now I care less about aesthetics, but I care more now about functional strength and just being healthy and like lifting heavy. I want to lift heavy stuff, but I don't care about, not having a six pack or looking a certain way, because I'm now trying to increase the amount I go to gym again, trying to balance social media, work as a surgeon, dog, and gym. So it's hard to fit everything else in. But the next 12 months, I'm going to really go hard to push my body to the limit, like I was when I was at uni, and that I've maybe, strayed off the path a little bit over the last few years just because I've failed to balance everything in my life, but try to smash it again over the next 12 months so I can be Dr. Swole.
Yes, I like that. I like that a lot. 12 months from now.
12 months, yeah. You're going to be checking in on me.
I'll be watching you.
Thank you so much. You've been a breath of fresh air on this show, talking all about the science of muscle building. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
So where can people find you online if they want to follow your journey and learn more?
Instagram, Nathan PT. I've just started a YouTube channel now, so you can check me up on there. And Threads as well now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.